Hey, what's going on, family? It's your boy Jo, back with another video. And today we are here in Manhattan, more specifically Washington Heights. This is the other side of Washington Heights, the more laid back side. As you can see, or maybe not see, but got a beautiful view right here, looking across the water into New Jersey. See the George Washington Bridge over there in the background. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to take this little, the little 250 that could, out for a while. Amtrak, the little 250 that could, on nice, peaceful ride. Hopefully everything turned out smooth because, like I said, we are in Washington Heights, and if you know Washington Heights, like I know Washington Heights, a lot of things can happen, but like I said, let's hope for a nice, smooth, uneventful ride. Show you guys around. I actually work in this neighborhood, all up and down Washington Heights, actually. If you're not from New York, technically this is like the borderline of Washington Heights, Dyckman Street. And it goes from here all the way down to, I believe, 155th Street. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you guys through Washington Heights and down to 155th Street. Talk about a couple of things on the way. Surprise, surprise. I wouldn't be surprised if Triumph conversation ensues. But I have to be focused too because, like I said, this is Washington Heights. It gets a little hectic up here. It's still early in the day, like it's barely afternoon. I think like 12 o'clock or something like that. So, but it's a nice day, so people are out walking and driving. And like I said, you got to be careful. People drive a little reckless over here. So, but like I said, it's nice, so I decided to bring the bike out and, discuss a couple things with you guys. Try to explain more clearly where I'm at in my riding journey. I believe the last video, or maybe the video before last, was the one when I spoke about how I feel like I outgrew my beginner bike. This bike right here. And it got, for my channel standards, I believe it got a lot of views, or a nice amount of views, I guess because it's a relatable topic. Like if you ride, everybody had or maybe still has a beginner bike, and you can relate to where I'm at in the journey. So with that being said, I just wanted to explain a little more clearly about why, I feel like I outgrew this little 250. I mean, for stuff like this, like I said in a lot of the videos, it's actually not too bad of an option at all. It'll definitely get you through city traffic, New York city traffic specifically, because the speed limit here is only 25, so you don't really need like excessive power or displacement or anything like that to get around this, because by the time you get up to 25, it's like almost time to slow down anyway because of the light patterns and the speed cameras, and so I don't know. I'm in second gear and going 20 miles per hour. This is like pretty much par for the course out here. So for that reason, sometimes I wonder how much displacement or how big of a displacement bike I actually need. If you've been following the channel, you know that I've been going back and forth between the Triumph 765 and the Triumph 1200, and I don't know, guys. Lately I've been binge watching a lot of speed triple content. I mean, I don't know if you ever had the pleasure of riding it, but it's really such a nice bike. I had the pleasure of riding a 2022 model, and that thing like has everything that I could need or would need to satisfy me for years, I think. Let me pay attention right here, make sure nobody clips me. All right, yeah, all the features that and amenities. Hope, watch this guy. All the amenities that I could personally ever want to need. So, and for the price of a used one, it's just like, I don't know, it seems almost like a no-brainer. But like I said, well, give me a second, guys. I forgot to fasten my D-ring on the helmet. See if I can do this with gloves on. Probably not, but nope, not looking good. 7, 6, 5. Oh well. What was I? Oh, it seems like a no-brainer, especially for the price, because the used one could be had depending on the where you're looking. Private sellers you can find for about 10,000 ish, and dealers about 12, 13 ish thousand. Okay, yeah, so for what you get for that price, I mean, I don't know, I'm having a hard time justifying buying anything else. But also, if you follow the channel, you see that I test rode the Street Triple 765, and that thing was like it was just as good as the Speed Triple. It felt like a smaller, lighter, nimbler version of the Speed Triple. And in this type of traffic, like I said, look, we're only going 20 miles per hour in second gear. Do you really need a 1200cc bike for these type of conditions? And I guess the answer for that is no. You probably really don't need much more than this right here, a 250. But if you're looking for like an all-around bike where if this is not going to be your only riding environment, like commuting situations, if you want to venture out, because this is right now we're in Manhattan, Washington Heights. This is St. Nicholas Avenue, but they have like other parts of the city where it's not as congested as this, and you can actually open up the bike. The speed limit is a little higher and things like that. So to have a bike that you can use in conditions like this, because even though the Speed Triple and even the Street Triple, like high displacement bikes, the power, to me, in my humble opinion, I'm just a noob, what do I know? But the power delivery is surprisingly manageable, and I think that's due to the linear power map or power delivery, or I don't know the technical term, but it's like roll on power. When you twist the throttle, you definitely get that initial jump, but then it doesn't like propel you into the next galaxy like you think you would. It's funny because my friend who owns the Speed Triple, who lets me practice on it, he actually test rode the he was thinking of buying the new Ducati, the V4S Street Fighter Edition. He had a chance to test ride it, so I was with him. I was on his Speed Triple and he was in front of me. I ran out of memory footage that day. That's the only reason I couldn't record it. But he was actually on that, and he said when it felt like when you twisted the throttle, like it would just propel you to another dimension. Like it was just like instant, like take off and go. And he said, I don't know, he felt like some type of disconnect. I don't want to paraphrase him incorrectly, but wow. Good old Washington Heights. But the point I'm trying to make, the long-winded point I'm trying to make, I guess, is that the power delivery on Triumphs, I mean, I haven't ridden Yamahas, but I heard those things are like torque machines. Like you twist the throttle and it'll, like if I twisted it from here, like I don't know, maybe it'll throw me into the back of this car. But I don't feel that way about the Triumphs that I tested. And that's one of the big reasons why I want to upgrade. Getting back to my original point, I know I'm getting all over the place. I said I was going to talk about more about why I feel like I'm ready to upgrade, and that's one of the biggest things. I want something that has better throttle response. Yeah, because if you can see this, I don't know if I got the right angle, but this throttle already has like slack. You see that? You twist it and nothing. So from here, imagine me rolling on the throttle and it building up and then finally, you know, pulls you. Whereas on those other bikes, like you turn the throttle and it's going to go. And that's what got me into riding on two wheels in the first place, because before I got this bike, I had a overpowered e-bike. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Serons and Talarias. I'll try to put up a picture. But I had a Talaria, and that was my first time. First time riding an e-bike. And wait, let me pay attention, guys, because it gets a little sketchy over here. When you have double parked cars like this, if there was a car in front of him right now wanting to pop out to make a U-turn, or even a pedestrian jumping out with these brakes, like I have to really be able to press them ahead of time. That's another reason. But to get back to what I was saying about the e-bike, yeah, it was my first time with an e-bike and my first time riding in traffic on two wheels. And oh man, you talk about an adrenaline rush. That thing oh man, that thing felt like I can't even describe it. But it had because you know, e-bikes, they give you all the torque and power instantly. It's like very on and off. Like you turn it and that thing is going to go. Which I learned the hard way, because the first day I got it, I was like, I'm going out there. I didn't have a helmet, I didn't have no gear, but I was like, forget all that. Watched a couple videos on YouTube. I'm like, yo, we outside. Okay. And long story short, I ended up whiskey throttling it. And luckily it was like from one, wait, hold on. Come on, this guy's on his phone. It was like from one corner, like you see this corner right here with this lady, to where this guy is, to the next. I was waiting at a light and I started daydreaming and the light changed, and I guess I must have twisted the throttle too much, and before you know it, I was on the floor, scraped up. I think I got some pictures of the scrapes as well. I'll show you guys. But that incident definitely taught me. Wow, speaking of, wait, hold on. One of the beautiful things about Washington Heights, Jesus Cristo. Sí, la tiene. Flaca pero diatre. Oh, sorry guys, in my mind I'm half Dominican. I don't know if you know that, but where was we? Jesus. Oh my God. Ya, calma se coño. Oh, okay, right. That incident definitely taught me to respect the throttle on a bike. So ever since then, that definitely humbled me, like much needed. That was, I believe in a higher power. That was definitely a higher power telling me like, yo, you better chill because you're gonna get hurt out here. And ever since then, I've been good. So that's why I was able to walk into the 1200 and not take the power for granted and deeply respect like what that bike can do and in general. But so I got more comfortable on the Talaria. I'm out here, no more whiskey throttling. But now I'm out here in this type of traffic. You see, it gets a little bonkers. People can't see you. People on their phone. And worst of all, being on an e-bike, they can't hear you. So after a while, like, I realized the potential danger of that. And I was like, nah, I can't be playing around in New York City traffic on such a small bike with, mountain. Let's get to the front of this. With mountain bike brakes, mountain bike suspension, and stuff like that. I need a real motorcycle. So that's what led me to take the MSF course. And, I was like all set on getting a Honda Grom. Ben's watching videos about the Grom. I thought that was gonna be it. I took and passed the MSF course on the Grom, but then I started pricing it, and I was like, I couldn't justify spending that type of money on such a small displacement bike. And that's what led me to get this beauty right here. So to summarize, because I know this thought might seem all over the place, but like I'm looking for something to give me the same feeling that I had on the Talaria, where I turn the throttle and it goes. Because when I bought this, I didn't know any better. I thought, this is how motorcycles were. I was like, oh, that's kind of different from what I experienced on the e-bike. But I guess it's a motorcycle thing, because mind you, at that time I only ever ridden this and the Grom, and the Grom is the same way, if not even worse, with the throttle response, especially because of my weight and stuff like that. And it wasn't until like I said, I made the huge jump from a 250 to a 1200. My buddy let me ride his 1200. Shout out to him, because he had confidence. I can't even think of anyone else that would let me ride their bike in general with the experience that I had, or the inexperience that I had. But he let me ride, and he convinced me to put it in sport mode, of all things. And I'm glad he did, because when I twisted the throttle on that, it was like almost like drugs. I was like, yo, this is the feeling that I was looking for. Like, you turn the throttle and it goes, it propels you, and the good thing about that is, like, you can turn it and it'll propel you like this, but you're able to coast. You can I'm coasting with the clutch in on this bike. Somebody commented on another video that I baby the clutch too much, but I'm telling you, this bike is a stall machine. Like, I feel like if I'm not holding in the clutch, I'm at risk of stalling. But on a more powerful bike, not only with the clutch, when you let out the clutch, it'll actually pull you without even needing any throttle. You can never do that on this bike. But like, if you're in traffic or the highway situation or whatever, like, you can twist the throttle, get to the speed you need to be, and just, you know, let off the clutch and just coast, and then have the instant throttle response again right there, right when you need it to, you know, propel you again. And that's the feeling that I'm looking for. Like, I'm looking for something to give me that feeling. So like I said, I got it narrowed down to the smart idiot. So I got it narrowed down to the 765 or the 1200. I guess because, you know, really those are the only two that I experienced, but not really, because I went to a demo day at Triumph and I got to test ride the Triumph 660 and the Daytona 660, and, you know, they were alright. I mean, no, the Daytona 660, that was definitely valid. That was definitely valid. It's just that I'm not really into the sports bike thing. Like, I love the looks of them. I watch a lot of videos about them and stuff like that. But for me personally, the riding position is not ideal or preferable or what I'm looking for. I think that's the right word. So I say all that to say is that, you know, I felt a little underwhelmed by the I wouldn't say the naked version of the 660, because I don't think that's an apples to apple comparison. The Daytona versus the Trident 660. I think those are two different, made for two different segments. But I walked away not feeling that impressed with the Trident 660. So like I said, that leads me to only you know, with only the Trident, I mean the oh man, the Triumph Street Triple and Speed Triple, respectively, those two bikes. I mean, let me cut this off because we're here. Got down here faster than I thought. So I don't know, like I said, I was thinking about MT-07 too and stuff like that. That's, you know, I'm sure that'll definitely give me the throttle response that I'm looking for. But to me, that one, you know, it doesn't have the brakes that I'm looking for. Like I said in another video, I'm being I guess a prima donna, bougie, spoiled or whatever. Like, I'm really looking for something that has Brembo brakes. So, and I'm being so I don't know, short-sighted, I guess, that I'm even overlooking the 765R in favor of the RS, because from what I understand, that the throttle mapping is different on the RS, is a better tune, and the brakes are definitely an upgrade. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But what I do know is that we got here much faster than I anticipated. Oh, the block that we on, I don't know if you saw the movie American Gangster, Denzel Washington, but this is the block where after he got married, the guy pulled him over and blah blah blah. He was like, "Oh, I'm with my wife, you better be careful," blah blah blah. This is that block. But anyway, this is the technically, I think, the borderline, the ending of Washington Heights. If you keep going further down, you'll end up in, I think, Spanish Harlem and then regular Harlem, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm going to make my way back up to the Bronx, take a ride home. I'm going to end this video here and pick it up with part 2 from here on my way to the Bronx. Take a different way home than I normally go. That one will probably be, you know, a pure sound video, or definitely less. What is this lady doing? Jesus. Definitely less yapping than I'm doing in this one. So, I mean, if you enjoyed this, be the cool person to leave a like, and, you know, stay tuned for the next one. I appreciate all the support. Shout out to all the new subscribers. I see you guys. You know, welcome aboard, and until the next one, deuces.